Hey, Lindsay, how are you?
Excellent, Michelle. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. Lindsay, what was your favorite class in high school? Do you remember?
I really liked sociology. I thought that was super interesting.
Oh.
Yes, that was, like, junior year, I think, in high school. What about you?
I
What
took a
was your favorite?
sociology class in college, not in high school, but I liked that a lot. But I did like my English class. I had a great teacher, so I would
Nice,
say that was my
nice.
favorite class.
It's fun to reflect on high school times and college times. It's a
Yeah,
common conversation topic even as we become adults, move into our careers, don't you
definitely.
think? Yeah,
Absolutely, because people talk about these things all the time. They share their stories, or even if they have kids, maybe they're talking about something dealing with their
right.
kids' education. So many ways
Yes.
that we talk about education to connect in English in everyday conversation.
Yeah, so guys, hit the follow button right now. That is your first agenda item for today's episode. Wherever you like to listen, make sure you are following the show. And that means that we drop into your listening queue every time there's a new episode, which is 5 days a week
Mhm.
on All Ears English. So make sure you're following or you're subscribed on YouTube. All right.
Yes.
So we had a listener question today. We love your questions, don't we,
Yes,
Michelle?
we do.
Yes.
I love this one, and this listener's name is Delphine, and I have to say that's one of my favorite names. I think that is such a beautiful
Aw.
name.
That was the name of my French exchange
Really?
friend, in high school when I did a French exchange in Franche-Comté,
Oh, wow.
France. She was like my buddy, kinda, you know what I mean? You get paired with
Yeah,
someone,
yeah.
yeah, in the program, and you stay at their house, they stay at your house
Yeah.
when they come to your anyways, good
Yeah, we had a
memories,
French
good
exchange
name.
student, and his name was
Yeah.
Gregory. So
Gregory. Okay. Love it. Love it.
yeah.
Fantastic. So for Delphine, here we go. She says, "Hello, Lindsay. I love your podcast. I listen to you girls every day.
Wow.
That's great. I'm a middle school English teacher in the north of France, and I learned so much from your show. Ooh, we love that. We
That's
love to hear it.
awesome.
Yeah. I have a question concerning vocab. When do you use the words class, course, lesson, period to talk about school? I am lost. Thanks for
Mm.
your help, Delphine. Oh, love it.
Great question. I love that we have teachers listening to this show as well.
Oh,
How cool. And yeah, and of course, yeah, we didn't say this, but if you're a teacher, I'm sure we do have a lot of teachers listening. So this
we
is
do.
definitely good to know for professional reasons as well.
100%. Guys, go back and check out episode 2230. That's our recommendation for today.
Mhm.
How should you describe someone's appearance in English? And that would play out in every aspect of our lives, also, whether we're in school or in our careers. All
Yep.
right.
Yep.
So, Michelle, let's get into answering the
Let's get
question for
to
Delphine and our
it.
listeners.
Okay,
Mhm.
so Lindsay, what's a course?
A course is kind of just a fancy adult way of saying a class,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? At some point, classes became courses as I
Right.
progressed through education. I think it must have been in college, right?
Yes, I
Wouldn't you say that?
right,
Yeah.
that's my feeling is that it's more for higher education, a college
Yeah.
course. Uh,
Yes.
you could say a college class too, but course is just a
Mhm.
little bit more buttoned up, as Lindsay likes to say, I think. And
Yeah.
because you wouldn't say second grade course, right? You wouldn't say, "Oh, and
No.
my son's kindergarten course," right? Those aren't courses.
Right.
It
Although I
you
have
know?
heard a mistranslation. I have heard, kind of direct translations when people translate directly from their native
Yeah.
languages talking about younger levels, but I think it's important what we're saying here, Michelle. Class is more for younger kids, like,
Mm,
elementary school, middle school, high school,
mm.
and then ivory towers, right? Higher education,
Yeah,
course, PhD,
of
master's,
course, yeah.
that's your courses. So,
Right.
that's the most important thing, right?
Right, right, right. So you could say, "Can any of the courses I took in freshman year transfer over?"
Yeah, perfect. And you thought about transferring to another college, right?
I
When you were in school?
did in freshman year. I thought about
Yeah.
it, but then once I hit 2nd semester, I was good. So
Yeah, freshman year
did
can
you
be tough.
too?
Yeah, I thought about it also first semester freshman year. Uh, and I wanted to go to like more of a city campus. I think I wanted to go
Yeah.
to GW or
Oh.
BU, go to
Oh.
like the cities. But then once I got into my tennis program and, just got into the swing of things. It's very normal to question your choice of
Yeah.
colleges, I think, at first. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a scary time your freshman year because here in the US, we just completely change our lives. We move out of our childhood homes,
Yeah.
usually far away from our families. And it's like, see ya. You're an adult
Yeah.
now,
And when you
kind
think
of.
about going into I mean, I was 17 when I started college, and
Wow, you were
that's
young.
because I have a late birthday, right? So it's just
Ah.
I've always been like pretty much the youngest in my grade because I have a
Oh.
December birthday. So I
Mm,
was only 17. And gosh, when I think about I mean, I have a 5-year-old, and when I think about
12
what in
years.
12 years he's that's so sad, but yeah, it's crazy to think about how young everybody goes off.
It's really a distinctive thing about American culture from what I understand, from what we talk to our listeners and people that I've known internationally, staying closer to home or continuing to live with the family and maybe taking classes closer to home. It's just very different the way we do
Mhm,
it.
mhm.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
All right, so that is a course and then a class. What is it,
Is
Michelle?
a class is a course.
Class is a class.
No, but, to me, this one is more universal.
Yeah,
You could use it not only to describe a class, but as a general term, as a place. So, like, "I gotta get to class." You wouldn't say,
right.
"I gotta get to course," right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So,
So
yeah.
kind of a destination, a location. Right. You would never say I got to get to course. And then I could say to you, how was class?
Right.
Right. When you came back. And again, so
Would you say, "How was
we're
course?" I mean, would you say, "How was
never.
your course?" Even that sounds funny to me.
No.
I don't think that you would just say, "Oh, how was the" how you might say, "How was the course? Do you recommend taking that course?" But
At the end of
yeah, but you
the,
don't say, "Oh,
yeah.
hey, how was your course today?" It becomes
No.
class. It's more conversational.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah,
interesting.
right?
More as a destination or something you did. And I do want to back up also and just say course is also applied to adult education. Like our students that join our courses, online courses, right? I'm
Right,
taking a
right, right,
course in
right.
CPR, for example, or a wilderness survival course. So it
Good
definitely
point.
goes beyond just ivory towers, higher
Right.
education, right,
Yeah,
Michelle? Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or you could just say, "This class is tough."
Yes, or I took a class on this last year. Or in this case, it could also be course. Like I
Right,
took a
'cause
course on AP psychology or whatever,
right,
criminal psych
right,
last year. Yes.
right.
Wow. Huh. It's a little
Interesting,
harder to
right?
answer the question than we thought.
Now, I
um,
have also read that course and class in college can actually be different in the sense that a course is a series of classes,
yeah, that's
but
correct.
it's
Yeah,
not
I would
always
say
used that way. So the course, yeah, I would say a course is the umbrella term, and then it's broken
yes,
up into classes. So
exactly.
that's why when we talk about, "Oh, how was class?"
So, Michelle, let me ask you this. So, in a typical college class, like I said, I took Bio 101. It was
Yeah,
so hard,
yeah,
kicked my butt. In that course, that was a course
yeah,
that could also be called a class.
yeah,
But my question for you is in a typical college course, how many individual
yeah.
classes did you have to attend to complete the course?
Well, let's think about it. So, I guess usually it's once or twice. I mean, I would say it's
Yeah.
usually twice a week, right? I mean, it could be
Yeah.
once if it's a very long one, it could be twice
Right.
or 3
Right.
times.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
and then, a semester could be, like, 12 or
12 weeks,
s
like 12 weeks. Yeah.
yeah, so
Something
about
like that.
24, 25 classes maybe, but it really depends how the class is split up.
Yeah, so that's a good way to think about it. So I like what you said before. Course is sometimes an umbrella term which is made up of individual classes.
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
So
Okay, Michelle, we are coming into lesson now. Let's talk about this
lesson.
one.
Okay, so lesson is what happens during the class, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's what the
Mhm.
teacher is teaching. So this our listener Delphine, I bet you have a lot of lessons. So a lot of times with teachers you have to do lesson plan, right?
Yes.
So
Mhm.
that's what you're teaching. So pay attention to the lesson today because there will be a pop quiz sometime in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it could be more informal, right? So not actually a lesson taught, but something that you learn in your life. And this is another
Mm.
way, totally different
Yeah.
way. I always That's kind of a hallmark, Michelle, of, TV in the '90s and the
Right.
'80s.
Yes.
There's
Yes, Full
there's
House.
like Full House, like, "Come sit on my
Um,
knee, and we'll talk about the lesson for
right.
today," you
Right.
know? It was just, like, this moral aspect to American TV in the
Yeah,
'80s and '90s, which I think is kind of gone like, a lot of shows are trying to do the opposite of that and not need to teach a lesson,
right.
right?
Well, that's what some one of the I
Yeah.
think, they said Seinfeld was so different because there were
Right.
never any lessons. There was nothing
Yes.
to learn. You didn't wanna admire the characters.
Yes.
There weren't any lessons.
Yes, right, and we talked about that, and that's kind of appealing for some people
Yeah.
because it's kinda more like life, like, there isn't a lesson every day, you
Right.
know?
Right, right.
It's just like you're kinda just living your life and things happen and you keep moving forward, time keeps going, you
That's
know?
right. That's
Um,
right. Yeah.
Super interesting. So, give us an example then
Y
here
Okay, you could
about
say,
that.
"I learned my lesson. I won't be late to work again." So maybe I was
Mm,
late and something bad happened because of it, and I said, "I learned my
yes.
lesson, so I'm gonna make a change."
Right. Or the lesson is to never doubt yourself. And again, that could be from a movie that you saw a movie, a message, or just your own life, living your life and
Yeah.
something happened. Okay. So let's get into period now. What do we think
Okay,
here?
so period. So this is not used in college. We've been talking a lot about college and higher
Right.
education. This isn't for elementary school. I would say this is more middle school and high school. So a
Yes.
period is because okay, when you're in elementary school, typically, correct me if maybe you did something different, Lindsay, you were in one class, right?
Right. Right. All day. Yeah.
You had your one
It
teacher, and then as you move up, you start to rotate to
right.
different classes. So you have like first period, second period, third period. So first period you might have English class, second period physical education, whatever it is.
Yeah, or maybe new teachers would come to you as a group, or you as a group would move. We would go to music in elementary school, I mean,
Right. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
We'd
yeah.
all move as a group, but that's the difference, at least in US culture currently in 2024. When you move into middle school, you're moving on your own to your next class because everyone's schedule is different. You have a locker. I remember when I started middle school, that felt like a scary step to
Yeah.
think, "Oh, I have to find my classes now by
Right.
myself. I have to open my locker." It felt like a big move towards independence. And of course, our education system and our culture is all about independence, right? So
Yeah.
it makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're trying to teach you to move in your own way, I
Yeah.
guess. I never thought of it that way, but I guess you could
Right.
say that.
I remember
Yeah.
sometimes being stressed if my classes were a little too far apart and because you only had
Yeah.
5 minutes and it was a little bit
Yes.
stressful. I also remember we had did you ever have block schedule?
Yeah, we had that too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so that's
Mhm.
like if you have 7 periods, so maybe the first day you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the
Right.
next day 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So
Yes.
you'll just kind of
Yes.
rotate around.
Yeah.
Oh, so you did have that. Yeah, that was kinda cute.
Yep.
What am I thinking about
Kinda
it?
cute. So, yeah, so our listener, Delphine, is a middle school teacher, I think she said. So this may be being used at your school too. I don't know
Yeah,
how it's
right.
done internationally. I really don't know, but that is how they do it in the US in middle school and high school. All
Right. Or
right.
in high school,
Cool.
you might have all the periods in one day, but your classes are shorter.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was yeah, like, for example, "Let's meet up at my locker after 3rd
Right.
period," right? That might be something you might say. All
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Good. Okay, where to now, Michelle? Where to?
Yeah, so, I mean, this is just a really good question. I mean, Lindsay, what makes up a good class or course in your opinion? What is it that makes it your favorite?
I think a lot of I mean, it's a broad question,
Yeah.
but I think a lot of dialogue, a lot of conversation, a lot of opportunities for students to question the material and
Mhm.
ask their own questions creates a critical thinker, which is something we really need in society, especially now.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think it was
Yeah.
more okay, maybe this can be one of our poll question for today. Do you think a class is do you would you prefer a really entertaining good teacher or really interesting content? Like, if you had to choose one.
Oh, man, that's hard. Probably good content you kinda need both, but
Yeah.
if the content is good oh, that's hard, Michelle. I don't
I
know.
say the teacher. Honestly, when I
Yeah.
think about when I think about my English classes, because those were two of my favorite, and it was because of the teacher. It wasn't that I
Yeah.
loved what I was learning necessarily, but I loved the teacher. So I personally think when you
Yeah.
look back and remember it, you're more so thinking about the teacher. But
Yeah, I think it matters, especially at the young ages. Teachers they need to get students into it, get students excited.
mhm,
I mean, I think about learning history in school, and I just really was like, I don't care because I haven't been to these places. But then
mhm,
after I went to
mhm.
some of those places,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is really consequential and fascinating. You know,
Yeah. Sometimes I
but
wish I
we
could go back to school and just learn actually pay attention, right?
exactly. I
Because it's
know.
just it's
Imagine
too bad. It's yeah.
yeah, the incredible gift to be able to sit down in class and just learn all day
Yes.
is amazing.
But at
It's
the
just
time, you do not appreciate it.
yeah, right. What is that expression, that famous expression?
Youth is
Youth is
wasted on
wasted
the
on the
young.
young.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Youth is wasted on the young. It's a great one, guys. You'll hear that in American English all the time. All right, let's
Yeah,
get into a role play here.
let's do it.
So, we are college students and friends. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so what are you taking next semester?
Hmm. I'm thinking about taking a course on French theater.
Well, that sounds so interesting. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I have to go. I'm late to class.
Oh no, same here. Let's walk together.
Okay. There's going to be a lesson on science fiction writing today, and I just can't miss it.
Okay.
Nice. So here we used all three. We didn't use period. And why is that, Michelle, that we didn't use
Because
period? The
this is
context?
college, right? So remember
College.
that. Yeah, you don't really
No
say
more
periods
periods.
in college. Yeah.
No more periods. There's class times, but that's it. Like you have class, you have to go to
Yeah.
class. My class is at 1 p.m., right? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So you said, I'm thinking about taking a course on
Mhm.
French theater. And so that would be the whole course. You sign up for it. Maybe it's spring semester of your junior year. It's going to last for 6 months
Yeah.
or 4 months.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And then you said, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I have to go. I'm late to class." So a class, you wouldn't say I'm late to my course. That's class is more of
Right.
the smaller piece here.
It's where you're going this evening, and then the next class is gonna be next
Yeah.
Tuesday, and then next Thursday, and there's gonna be 25 of them in one semester. Yeah,
Mhm.
good.
Mhm.
Okay. And then I said, "Okay, oh, there's gonna be a lesson on science fiction writing today." So that's what the teacher is going to deliver. The
Yes.
teacher is going to deliver the lesson in the class, which is in the larger course. Right? So it's kinda like, it's like there's like I don't know, levels of unfolding of the umbrella.
Right, right, right. It's true, right, that's funny.
Yeah. All right, Michelle, what's the takeaway for Delphine and for our listeners?
I loved this question. This was a fun one because I understand why it would be confusing, right? Why it might be hard to remember, and so it was interesting to really think about what are the differences in between these words. So, thank you, Delphine, for that question, and yeah, let us know what your favorite courses are. What do you think makes a good course? And
Yeah.
yeah, message us.
Yeah. I think be careful here with directly translating from your native language because
Yes.
there could be some mistranslations that as I said before, I've heard some mistakes when we're directly translating. So try to learn this in a natural way. Just immerse yourself in what we've learned today and use these words to refer, not directly translating from your language,
Yeah.
guys. All right. And
Good.
then we'll be good to go. All right.
Okay. Well, this was a lot of fun, and Lindsay, I'll talk to you on the next one.
All right. I've enjoyed this trip down memory lane,
Same
Michelle.
here.
Maybe we'll do more episodes reflecting on college
Yeah, yeah, it
days.
is fun. Okay.
All right. Good stuff. Talk to you soon. Have a good
Bye.
one.
You too.
Bye.